a lot. Call halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Dash, and double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who do well with taught us his truth, and peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. My name is Rapashwa, and today I'm going to talk about, where this doctrine came from, this doctrine of white supremacy. This is rooted in pseudoscience, not just white supremacy, Edomite supremacy, white nationalists, all of that shit, man. And first and foremost, the name of the Lord is Yahweh Shai. His father's name is Yahweh. He was a so-called dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, man. Even ChatGPT would tell you that. It's common sense. They changed the doctrine. It makes you wonder about a whole bunch of other things in the book. But anyways, let's get right into it, man, because I don't want to beat a dead horse. Let's get this started off with this verse. Psalm 52:1. It says, Psalm of David, when Doug the Edomite, who is a so-called white man today, self-proclaimed white man. We say self-proclaimed white man because why do they self-proclaim themselves as a superior race through pseudoscience? You're not superior in shit. You seeing you motherfucker how greedy and slimy and conniving you are. Even your own fucking people are seeing this shit. We don't give a fuck about you, coming down, great wrath and all, man. Fuck you. Because at the end of the day, the Lord he's going to be the one to take you devils out of power. Psalm 52:1. Doug the Edomite came and told Saul and said unto him, David is come unto the house of Ahimelech. It said, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. Why boastest thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of God endureth continually. You see, if you read that in the NLT, it says the justice of God. And guess what? The justice he's about to do justice to this bitch known as Mystery Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, which is spiritually called Edom and Sodom because they push the same vibration. Verse 2, it said, thy tongue deviseth mischief. It says, like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than speaking righteousness. And that's all you see these devils do. The voting system, all these different promises, right? There's different federal workers getting laid off, getting an ultimatum. Either you're gonna leave, or you're gonna do, you're gonna leave peacefully, or pretty much we're just gonna up the ante on you and fire you, and you're gonna lose all your benefits. So a lot of them have decided to leave by the end of November. But see, you don't understand. A lot of people are going to be affected by that. It's not just going to affect DC. It's going to affect all these other cities too. Because guess who all the funding, all the federal funding, whether it be from food stamps, whether it be from welfare, all of that shit goes through DC. That goes through these head departments, man. And man, it's gonna be hell, man. For a lot of people, it's gonna be hard for you to get shit. You see. If you ain't already, and see, the Lord already his people are going to eat. The Lord's men and his women and his children, the hopeful elect, are going to eat, man. And we got to have it in our mind, man. This devil is who he said he is. He's showing you who he is. You still got, wide mouth, mush mouth fucking Jakes, man. Still out there mocking and scoffing, thinking this is a game. But what the fuck are you doing, nigga? What are you teaching the people? You teaching people how to get in order where the system ain't did shit for us. They ain't gonna do shit for us because the Lord said it in his word. Curses the man that trusts in man. And trusting in this system, this wicked man, you pretty much holding hands with the wicked. You're gonna get the same judgment, man. Psalm 52 and verse 4 said, thou lovest all devouring words and deceitful tongue. Verse 5 says, God shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of the dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living. You see, in the land of the living, who's the land of the living? Us. Wherever the Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, man. Those that actually see the wickedness that the Lord is pretty much giving you the spiritual eyes to call this shit out. He even gave whistleblowers, he poured out his spirit on all flesh, but they not in the truth yet. By way of the spirit, you see. But at the end of the day, they still calling shit out because guess what? The Lord is still using certain people to do his will. Just like he's using Russia, Gog and Magog. Verse 5, man. Verse 6. It says, the righteous shall see thee and fear and shall laugh at him, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. We're going to laugh at you devils when the Lord takes you out of power. Verse 7, lo, this man, this is the man that made God, not God, his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches. And that's all you devils do. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in the laws of God. You don't believe in his righteousness. You twist justice. You see it in the court system. You see how they target so-called black and brown people all the fucking time. In the jails, you know, in attorney courts. You seen it. I seen it with my own fucking case. I went 30 years not getting in no motherfucking trouble with nothing. It just goes to show you just seen it with Bud Crawford, man. You see, there's nothing that we can do with you fucking devils, man. The Lord is about to beat the shit out of you, take you out of power, and we're gonna rip the skin off you motherfuckers, man. You gotta pay for all the shit you've done and continue to do. And you can't run, you can't hide, you can't go into outer space. Like the Lord has it written, though thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, all in outer space and shit, the Lord is still gonna bring you all the way down to the fucking dust. He said, come sit at the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon, man. Verse 7. But he, and like I said, it says, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in his wickedness. All these weaponry, all these swords, you know, all these different chemicals all up in the damn concrete, in the air, the chemtrails, fucking up the earth. You know, and they got you eating that shit. There's really nothing that you can eat that's really pure anyways no more. You see? They teaching you pseudoscience in the schools, teaching your kids to be involved with homosexuality, all these different, you know, doctrines that we're not supposed to be as confusion, man. The Lord is not the author of confusion. And then we're going to do today, we're going to show you this devil, man. We're going to show you several devils. And like I said, no single person invented the doctrine of white supremacy. I typed in who invented and just show you, you know, who was the man that started white superiority. And we know that it was no single person because it was all through different councils and agendas. Just like the agenda of these different shareholders and companies and corporations, corporate thugging, the FBI, all them motherfuckers, man. They got Jake involved in that shit, man. Anyways, it says it evolved over centuries, you know, drawing on religious beliefs, right? These different churches preaching Serapis Christos, which they got that doctrine from Tammuz and Ishtar, the virgin birth doctrine. Psychological, philosophical ideas like Sigmund Freud, experimenting on babies and shit, saying babies, you know, they choose when to be, they pretty much stating that they want to be homosexual. They know that they want to be homosexual when they come out the womb. What kind of fucking sick, it should piss you off, man. Let me keep it spiritual because I'm just in the right mood today, man. But I still got to keep it spiritual. And it says in pseudo-scientific, right? Convincing themselves through their science, that their theories is right when it's pretty much being shown as being wrong on the earth. All of them been wrong. Yes, they are slowly killing the people. You get in the door, you know, you in that secret club, they think you're going to take care of you, man, they're going to kill you too. That's what they got the robot set up for, stupids. Anyways, they want to replace you too, just like they talk about it in Terminator, Matrix. Oh man, look, this devil, you know, all these docu movies, he shows you what he really wants to do before he does it, because he knows he's bound by the Lord anyways, and he has to. In Ladland, they shall tell on themselves to justify imperialism. And in a lot of ways, that condemns you, Jakes, too. It don't, and it's not gonna work out. That condemns you too for trusting in this devil, for trusting in wickedness. You know, especially you Eves, because you've been his bottom bitch over here. You've been his top winch over here in the Western Hemisphere. You Eves, yeah. Slavery and other forms of racial domination. The concept of white and as a racial category and the notion of its superiority emerged and developed over time to serve political and economical interests of the European colonial powers. You know, continuing on, it says, while no one created the entire doctrine, obviously, because they had different councils. That's where they get the doctrine of discovery from. That's where they get that age of enlightenment from, because they feel like they've been enlightened through their pseudoscience. They felt as if, we're going to get some of that too. They felt as if they was enlightened through their pseudoscience. Continuing on. It says several figures throughout history popularized the codified the ideas that enable white supremacy, through eugenics. We talk, you hear the elders go into it. Eugenics, pretty much, you're cattle, pretty much to us. And you hear them say this in their talking points. You're cattle and you're not smart enough because you're not, at a certain level, which they ward themselves, right? And they pretty much snake themselves to the position that they in through their different councils. They know what they was doing when they were setting up councils and setting up orders, man. It's a secret. But see, the Lord he got a special spirit on the ass. He divides the evil from him. We gonna get that too. Look at these different devils, man. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, 1752 to 1840. Slavery. A German nationalist is considered. He probably was a small hat. I'm gonna click on him in a second. It says the German nationalists considered one of the founding fathers of scientific racism. He divided, and see, the Nazis was a part of that shit too. Eugenics. A lot of them was involved in the scientific MK Ultra experiments of eugenics. They felt as if they used a lot of their own people. They seen you as dumb and pretty much retarded or mentally retarded or just not apt in society, but you was the workers. You was the one that you had the skills, the true skills that made the world go round. They just, they the architects behind the evils that you see today. When the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. When the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. He divided humans into 5 races and designated the Caucasian group as the original and most beautiful, suggesting other races degenerate from this ideal form. When you look at them motherfuckers, man, really, and obviously it ain't all, because some Edomites, they snake their way in this kingdom using their privilege, and now they starting to see that shit's dwelling and trying to come around Jake and shit. Now they've used that shit to their advantage. And I ain't seeing that. Nah, man, the Lord is still ain't dealing with. He's not dealing with no devils, man. If you a devil, what's the devil mean? Deceiver. This is deceiving knowledge. Because the true Messiah, he was a so-called dark brown-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, Yahweh. Thomas Jefferson, a part of that. Though one of the founding fathers of the United States, Jefferson was a slave owner and an influential figure in developing American racial thought. In his 1785 book, Notes, the State of Virginia, he wrote that black people were inferior to whites in both body and mind. And that's clearly a goddamn lie. Why did they bomb Tulsa, Oklahoma when we had booming businesses, booming billion-dollar markets? Jake, make something out of nothing. Why they try to copy the same slang and lingo as us? Whether it be music, art, whether it be scientific, why all these different scientists you had coming through, out of slavery. George Washington Carver, 100 different uses of the peanut, one of my favorite in history. All these different prominent Jakes, man, that brought so much to these fucking devils, man, these faggots. And what they do, they took credit for it. Lewis Latimer, he understood what it took to create electricity and convert electricity to a form of pretty much converting that electricity to where you have light. And now you have light, and now you got cars. You use it in cars, you use it in heat, in HVAC, and air conditioning. That came from him, converting electricity into an energy form that's in their everyday uses. Your light poles. That's another Jake made that. Iron board. All of that shit, man. All the Jakes did that, and what his name? Thomas Edison. Because he was under that piece of shit. It goes into history about that. She took credit for what he did and what he invented. The algorithm of the telephone. A black woman created that. So-called black woman. I don't even like saying that shit no more because ain't none of us black. Those are terms used in the spirit to keep you at a disadvantage, man. Arthur D. Gabano, a French writer, and diplomat, Gabaniou, is known for his book on an essay on the inequality of human races, which posed a hierarchy of 3 races. and the Aryan or the white race at top. You know, you understand who the Aryans were. Those were Nazis too. The motherfuckers go back to Nazi supremacists. You see them, you know, just standing up and shit like we scared. Nobody cared. Nobody really worried about you Edomites, man. At least I'm not. We not this way, man. Nobody's fucking scared of you bitches, man. His theories were used to promote the idea that race mixing would lead to a collapse of civilization. You know? And really, no, it's not necessarily race mixing because the Lord, you know, he used different nations of the heathen. Fuck is this? Uh, Somebody that, anyways, he used different races of the heathen to bring back his people, man. So it's not necessarily race mixing. It's just you people are pretty much the basis of men. You know, let's get that real quick in Ezekiel, man. The Lord says he's going to bring the worst of the heathen to rule over us because of what we did. Let's see, Ezekiel. Oh, shit. I hate it when it does this. Ezekiel 7 and 24. All right, let's read this out in NLT because it goes directly into how these devils are. Ezekiel 7 and 24. I will bring the most ruthless of nations to occupy their homes. Who's the most ruthless? You remember that shit? You remember this shit? Let me end that quote. Well, we might as well start moving out of these neighborhoods. You know, the market's going down because those black people are coming into these neighborhoods. Maybe not in those words, but that's what they was hitting at. Verse 24, I will bring the most ruthless of nations to occupy their homes. You know, that's why they in the Holy Land now. He never said we was going to get in the Holy Land by Balfour Declaration. Devils. It says, I will break down their proud fortresses and defile their sanctuaries. Verse 5, terror and trembling will overcome my people. They will look for peace and will not find it. And see, that's what's going on. We've been here in this in this captivity. You know, our people, Jake, works hard in this motherfucker, and they continue to say the worst workers, you know, the shittiest people. And you a goddamn lie. Jake makes this motherfucker go round. Whether it be music, whether it be working, whether it be blue collar, anything. You see, and now they want to keep you out the market. And that's where affirmative action came into play because the white bitches didn't know how they wanted to make money. Feminism, right? They wanted to make money and shit and get into the market and get into making their own money. They didn't want to be on their man and all that other shit, right? That's where that came into play. They took up most of your jobs, and it wasn't for so-called black people. You know, so a black woman may have gotten into the market, but why? What was the reason for that? You know, you was able to work and then disrespect your man. You know, you can't receive welfare if your man is in the household. All of that, man. All those is tools to condition you, and it's still used today. That's why you see Jake in the state that they in today. You see, and then they'll call themselves the righteous. They'll call themselves wicked, but they devise these treacherous dealings, man. Let's get it real quick, man. They devise these treacherous motherfucking actions, man, and they try to justify themselves through whether it be through the word or whether it be, you know, whatever, through their pseudoscience, whatever has occurred to their pseudoscience. This is Micah 3 and Micah 3 and 11. It says the heads thereof judge for reward. And it's talking about, you know, Judah. It goes really, like I said, you devils control the market. But you know, you set up Jake to pretty much have to depend on you. Like I say, pharmaceutical industries, the fucking how you destroy the earth, how you take markets and clean food, how you overprice clean foods, you know, and all you other heathen took part in that shit too. So your motherfucking ass is going to slavery too. It says the heads of thereof judge for reward. It says and the priests thereof teach for hire. You see that a lot. You see that going on even within the Israelite community, man. It says, and the prophets are therefore divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord? Says and say, is not the Lord among us? none evil can come upon us, man. You see? And they're not leaning upon the Lord. What are they leaning upon? Pseudoscience, still to this day. False doctrines, false idols. This is a thing. This has always been a thing. This is a thing to Jake, man. And listening to one of the brothers' videos yesterday, I mean, it is what it is, man. I see y'all on the other side, you know. And I said I was going to get this real quick. So let me see. Before I close it out. Let me look at who this devil is here. Huh. Got to Germany. Zoology. Let's see who the fuck this guy is. Yeah, he likened so-called black people and the animals because they called you monkeys. But last time I checked, monkeys have thin lips like you devils. And wrinkly ass fucking skin like you bubblegum skin bitches. Chewed up bubblegum skin bitches, man. Yeah, pretty much that's it, man. I don't want to be the dead horse. You know, I got to the point. The point is that you devils are the progenitors of this fucking world's, wickedness, philosophy. And the Lord's about to take you out of power because not only have you rooted the earth in this in your false doctrine, your philosophy, but you've destroyed the earth, with your might, like the Lord, like King David said, with your might, the sword, your pseudoscience, destroying the earth. And you don't give a fuck how you got what Jake goes through, man. You know, all these billion-dollar corporations going into destroying the people. Billions die, you don't give a fuck. Thought we were supposed to save the fucking earth, not destroy it. But see, that's what happens when you have faggots like that in position of power, man. And that's it. I saw I'm gonna end it right there. Call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakaha Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles GMS, who taught us this truth and peace salutation to the hopeful election. Shalom.